character or behavior that he is the one doing that evil thing. The same thing is what sometimes I get troubled with when I read statements, statement in the Bible which reveals God commanded things like Gideon, Joshua, all those people going to take the lives of people, killing people, and saying that God told them to do that. I mean, if you have to read the things that Gideon, Samson, all these people went through or said, that God inspired them to do all those things, I ask myself, is that a good God doing the evil things? Some people will explain and say that sometimes God do evil to demonstrate good. Whatever that means, I don't know. But it's a simple, straightforward, basic logic. What is good is good. What is good has no room for evil. God has no room for evil, because everything that he has done is good, and those things that is good is meant to go on. They are not meant to sort of be exterminated or be facing obstacles or anything from he himself. If he do something and he become an obstacle to what that thing that he has done, what sense is he making? What good would that do to him? I'm not trying to badge or give excuses for God. I am defining God. Now, if that is what God is, that he does things and he turns around and do the opposite to sort of make it all become crashy and hate each other, and that is what most of the time the Bible presents. And I know people who have done those kind of thoughts. Then that is not God to me. That is no God to me. No, that is no God to me. To me, that is a very cunning and deceptive form of God or spirit. And that takes me to Genesis 1, to the snake. That talks about the snake, which have that kind of cunning snake and telling you do that, and eventually what they did brought them all these troubles that they never anticipated. That tells me from Genesis, a God, Jehovah, who is being presented as someone who knew that wearing clothes may be good for us, or eating fruit was not was eating such a fruit would be bad, and then he puts it there to tempt us to go and take it, and then later he will come and punish us. That makes me look at the Bible, Genesis, a God who, if I'm interpreting his ways, is like today tells us that I'm here to give you life, but from the very beginning he tells his followers who were there with him, says that a man would take his hand and touch the tree of life and become like us. So I don't want the man to eat the tree of life and become like us, preventing man from having life. And now in New Testament, he's telling us that he wants to give us life. He wants to guarantee us life. I mean, which one is which? Is he going to give us life, or is he not going to give us life? This is the presentation of the book. If you read through Genesis right to Revelations, you can then get a gist of what some of the things that has been said. Some of the things that has been said. Several times you will notice that God is ordering, is giving orders to certain people to go out there and fight and destroy the lives of others. All the others that they are destroying are his own handiwork. He crafted them. He gave them the knowledge. That is what we are supposed to believe when we define Jehovah. He gave them knowledge. He gave them the character they bear, the things they do. Even Cain, and the way Cain behaved towards his brother Abel. Cain didn't create himself. According to the Quran and the Bible, Cain was created by God. God gave him all the impurities of whatever he is. All the structure, the vein, everything that he has in him. Anything he has in him and physically have around him, the breath in him, everything came from God. I mean, a lizard gave birth to a lizard. God produces good things. God does not produce bad things or evil things. But we are supposed to read this book and realize that God produced both evil things and good things and put it all together. That is what you're supposed to look at and still insist on saying that God is good. Why is never clear, but it is clear to me now, and I'm sharing it with you, that this is a contradicting book. It's not a straightforward deal. If you go into it, be ready for it. Realize that you're going to be you'll be a controversial person. You will be contradicting yourself and others. You'll be trapping people into some sort of captive state. You put people in a guilt state. You will crush people in so many ways. There are things that happen in this book that leads people to behave in so many ways. There has been a man who has been locked up for procreating in his, group. Probably has a Latter-day Saints background, I believe, in America, and he ends up, having sexual activities with all the members of church, the younger ones and the older ladies, and having children and all that. He was building his own family. Among that, there wasn't any limits to who he had to sleep with. But in the society, these things are what defilement is wrong. They are not right. And most people are looking at these things and realize that no, they had to be looked into. We have to look at these things, consider them, see where we stand with these writings, whether they are truly from God, from a God, or the God that we look up to. Or somehow they are one of the archaeological findings. Just like we find gold or oil, or have found any other thing we found. And that time people were spiritually inspired and they were leading their life and they had their inspiration. If we were to found today the Ten Commandments, maybe it will be one evidence of something true writings of God, because according to the Bible, God wrote the Ten Commandments with his own hands, with his own pen and paper. He wrote his Ten Commandments, his own devised paper from the rocks. He wrote the Ten Commandments. If we have that we know that this is from God. We hold him to it. That God, this is your writing. You said that. Why did this happen, or why is this happening? And then he's the only one that can give us answers to it and tell us why things like that happen. And he's the one who's going to tell us, you can't question me, or you can. But even that, we will have doubts about him. If he cannot give us answers, because it is approved for everyone who make claim of every faith to have an answer to whatever he claimed to believe. If you believe, this is written in the Bible as well, if you believe in anything, or you try to present anything, or you say you are Christian or Muslim or whatever, you must give an account as to whatever you claim to believe. You must give an answer to whatever you claim to believe. If you cannot do that, if you fail in that regard, your claim is futile, your claim is wrong, your claim is deceptive, your claim can be deemed as a lie and not truthful. And that is what God is. That is a challenge to sort of prove that God is God. God alone can give answer to everything, because he is there from the beginning. He did everything. He has answers to everything. There isn't any question you answer that he won't have. He won't be able to answer. Just like it's being presented with Jesus Christ. According to the story, Joshua gave answers to everybody. The Jewish story and the Christian story that he has, I think the Muslim as well, that he has answers to everything that you ask him. He was accurate in everything he said. And such a thing he was using at that time to prove his divinity or his faith at that time. Now, if you can do that, how do you prove your faith? And that is one thing, that you should have an answer to whatever. So if you claim Christianity and you read the books, or you have it anywhere, and you hide your way out and